Good evening and welcome to Elite TV, where we know best. Today we are joined by Dr. Richard S. Mugg to discuss your new book, Brexit, How the Poor Idiots Got It Wrong. So, Dr. Mugg, just how stupid are the general population and why do we allow them to vote?
Well, the problem starts very early, in the developmental stages of the brain. Now, some people's brains grow to the full size or indeed slightly larger, like yours, I presume, and mine. Other people's brains do not grow large. In fact, they grow artificially small. And that means that they are not sufficiently large to appreciate the true value of the project of European integration.
And are we talking about particularly poorer people?
Yes, we are. It's really important here to realise that the correct measure of brain capacity is whether one believes in the project of European integration or not.
It's very dangerous, isn't it, allowing ordinary people to have a say in matters of state?
Exactly. In my research, I found that these people with smaller brains actually had the temerity to believe that their vote and their voice mattered as much as me, a Queen's Counsel with a PhD.
Oh, well, we both know that's not really how democracy works.
It certainly isn't.
Oh, and another guest on the show, another author like yourself, put it best when he said that hate cannot be democratic.
Oh, no, it can't. But if you see, if a voter were to vote correctly, that is in favour of membership of the European Union, that vote would be democratic because it would not be hateful.
Absolutely. I'm wondering, Dr. Mugg, how do we protect our precious democracy from the voters?
It's a very important point. I believe that a values test is the best way of ensuring that the votes go the right way.
But perhaps directly outside the polling booth.
Exactly. You could ask a potential voter when they came in whether or not, for example, they believed in the project of the European Union. And if they did, that would show they had the correct values to participate. And if they did not, they would be a hateful voter.
Exactly.
And they must be excluded.
Well, we must protect and safeguard our democracy.
Safeguard it from the voters.
Perhaps we could consider excluding particular groups from the process, so removing suffrage, for example, from older people.
Oh, I wouldn't only suggest it, I would absolutely say it's a moral imperative. Instead of having to filter through every single voter in the country, what we could do is take areas of the country, particularly the areas of the country that were more likely to vote to leave the European Union, and exclude them from the process, thereby making the country less hateful and more democratic. Equally, I think you raise a very important point when it comes to age. Mm-hmm. On average, every voter over the age of 45 voted to leave the European Union. Therefore, they have stolen the futures of the next generation. And any voter of that age and above really should not be allowed to vote at all.
Exactly. An outright ban on older people, I think, would really safeguard our democracy from hateful values and protect the future of those young people, because it's the young people that will have to live with this freedom.
Oh, it's terribly ghastly. Young people have literally had their futures stolen. They don't have futures anymore. Young people will not be able to live in the future. Really. When hateful voters pursue their hateful votes, we need to challenge them. We need to challenge them at the ballot box and make sure they can't vote. But if the votes go through, we must challenge them through the courts. We must challenge them through civil society. We must take to the streets and protest democratic votes. That is the way. That is the way we safeguard our democracy.
Exactly. That is true democracy. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Well, that's all we have time for this evening on Elite TV. Join us next week where we will be discussing the patriarchy, toxic masculinity, and whether or not men should have a right to exist.
To stay up to date with Reason, click subscribe here if you're on YouTube and press the alarm bell. And if you're on Facebook, hit the like button and under following, click see first. Please help Reason to grow as a movement by making a donation to us.